good morning, investor and corporate. Welcome to SET Digital Roadshow Year-End 2022 Performance Review. This section will run about 45 minutes, including Q&A. Company will start the section by 30-minute presentation, followed by 15-minute Q&A section. And during Q&A, investor may leave your question in the meeting room chat box or use raise your hand function. We will open your microphone so you can ask the question to the company directly. So may I now invite SCGJWD Logistics Public Company Limited to start the presentation, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Greetings, investor, analysts, fund manager, shareholders, and interested party. Thank you very much for joining us today on the Digital Roadshow. Thank you, Stock Exchange of Thailand, for arranging this for us. Today we're gonna discuss about the year-end performance of year 2022 for SCGJWD Logistics. Actually, you might be more familiar with the name JWD Info Logistics Public Company Limited, but we have already completed the merger transaction with SCG Logistics on the 14th of February of this year. So right now we have changed to the new name for SCGJWD Logistics Public Company Limited, or the ticker in the stock exchange is SJWD. So let me show the screen for you so that I can get you through our presentation. And along the way, if you have any question, please feel free to leave your question in the chat box, and I think we're gonna have some certain time for Q&A after the presentation complete. Okay. Do you have the screen right now? Is the screen showing now?
Showing now.
Okay. So let me get started. So today we're gonna discuss about our performance review for the year end of 2022. Last year was quite a good year for us. As a company in the logistics industry, we still enjoying some of the benefit from the situation, and we also have quite a strong momentum of growth throughout last year, and also follow up in this year. We still have quite a good momentum in the growth in many sectors that we are covering, especially after we are joining or merging with SCG Logistics and become SJWD. We having much more projects to execute in the next many years to come, and I'm gonna browse you through all those plans and let you know what's gonna happen throughout this year and what would be the plan for us to grow into the future. As I mentioned, we have already completed the share swap transaction with SCG Logistics, and right now we are called SCGJWD Logistics Public Company Limited, and the short name is SJWD. And this is just a recap of our year-end performance of 2022. Okay, where we have the total revenue of about 6 billion baht, which is actually hitting the target that we have mentioned to you guys earlier last year, that we are planning to hit the revenues of around 6 billion baht, and we achieved that through many segments that we have gaining a positive momentum throughout the year, especially the general goods warehouse, transportation, as well as some of the overseas operation, especially in Cambodia, where last year Cambodia has recovered significantly from the year 2021. So we have perceived quite significant growth in terms of revenue and profitability from all those business. We also have done a performance recovery because there were some difficulty period during last year, especially due to the conflict between Russia and Ukraine situation during the first half of 2022. And there was like a shortage of the semiconductor which is an important raw material for automotive industries. And the volume of the manufacturing cars was reduced significantly during the first half of last year. And that has impacted our automotive logistic business as well. Fortunately, the second half of last year, the situation seems to be recovering, and the shortage situation of semiconductors seems to be relieved, as well as we have a positive momentum from the inflow of the EV cars, which has become very popular in Thailand right now, especially the one that was imported from China. And we are very lucky to got so many jobs from Chinese EV car brands to do logistics for them, which I will mention afterward. So all in all, I think last year we have been doing quite well and following the plan that we made. Especially one of the biggest plans last year was to do the merger transaction with SCGJWD, where we announced the deal in late October last year, and the closing was already done in February last month. So everything is going well as planned, and the momentum is quite good right now. We also have many project pipeline that are on track, which I will update you in the next section. But before going to that, let me just recap the key activities that we have in year 2022. Let's say in last year, during the first half, it's still a little bit slow in terms of the economic activities in Thailand, because the COVID situation was still quite uncertain during that period. But in the second half, everything seems to be much more active, and we also keeping up with the pace and doing a lot of activities in the later part of the year. So just to recap, in January we have established a joint venture with one of our key customer, which is Thai Union Food, and established the joint venture company called Pacific TUM Cold Storage in Mahachai. This company has built a new cold storage warehouse in our Mahachai complex, and the warehouse is already complete in December last year, and right now the operation has already started. So we expect to fill in and break even this activity in the warehouse within Q2 this year, which is quite fast because we are partnering with the customer themselves. We also have cooperation with another major partner, which is Central Patana or CPN, to join us in invested in the self-storage business or the name JWD Storage. So they are now holding 30% shares of JWD Storage. This joint venture effort was done in June last year. And we also expand our warehousing capability, especially in August. We have started a new operation of a cold storage warehouse in Salapuri location, which is the fourth key strategic location that JWD had last year. We previously have a key strategic location in Mahachai, Bang Na, and Suwintawong. And right now we have the fourth strategic location in Salapuri, which is quite successful. Right now, the capacity of this new warehouse is almost filled. So we could expect to expand another warehouse for Salapuri location very soon. And also in the same month, we also have received the Best Managed Company Award from Deloitte. We also opening a new branch in JWD Storage Lat Phrao in September. And as I mentioned earlier, in October, we announced a deal of a merger between JWD Group and SCG Logistics, which has already been closed in February this year. We also received SET Award in October regarding the sustainability excellence in the group of commended sustainability awards. And in November, we have been selected into MSCI Global Small Cap Index. And lately, we also been picked as a Thailand Sustainability Index for 5th year in a row. And last month, we have just been selected as part of the SET 100 index as well. So there are quite a good momentum in terms of improvement of the company. And we are looking forward into this year and the following years to grow together as SCGJWD. In short, In Q4 last year, we achieved around 1.59 billion baht of revenue, whereby around 77% of that came from logistic business. It can be further categorized into 6 groups. For example, the biggest contribution came from warehouse and yard management, followed by transportation and distribution. And we also have some contribution from our very first business, that is relocation, as well as the improvement in the overseas operation, self-storage, and infrastructure, respectively. We also have contribution from the food business and some other business units such as IT development and property development too. So all in all, I think last year was a good year for us, and we are looking very positively into this year, especially if we are looking at Thai economy. We still believe that the momentum and traction is favorable to logistic company, and the improvement of the economy this year will help us to grow much more, especially with the network that we gain from SCG. Will help us to drive much more growth than before. Also, another segment that we are quite focused in right now is the automotive, because last year has been quite difficult in the first half, but in the second half, especially in Q4, it has been growing quite fast, especially from the contribution of the EV car. And we believe that in this year, because the government promotion regarding the tax reduction for the EV car import is still there. So we believe that we will still be enjoying the growth in terms of the EV consumption, EV car consumption in Thailand, and the logistic automotive of SCGJWD will receive much more tasks throughout this year. Therefore, we have made a projection for our performance outlook in terms of the revenue top line. We have made a pro forma revenue combining JWD Group revenue and SCG Logistics revenue together as a different color in the bars, blue and orange respectively. And in the future, from year 23 onward, we still forecast the growth with the CAGR of around 12% every year. And that is because we are quite confident in terms of the business direction that we have. And right now we have laid down the strategy to grow SCGJWD into the future, and we have set our target to reach 100 billion Thai baht market capitalization in year 2027. That can be done through the 5 main strategies that we are going to execute. Actually, we have already started some execution of these strategies since before the merger happened, because we have already identified the potential synergy with SCG Logistics and already started some of the activities since last year. Out of the 5 key activities are as follows. The first one is to build the synergy between the groups, and also adding more revenue through the cross-sell and upsell activities, increase the pocket share and end-to-end service, and trying to sell our total solution to the customer for each side. We also trying to strengthen and scale up our core competency, giving more value-added activities to customer, especially in the niche market that we are very competent in, such as in cold chain, automotive, and chemicals and dangerous goods, for example. We also have the third strategy to move forward in terms of the ASEAN expansion, because we were very much focused in Thailand. We were expanding to ASEAN, but the pace was not that fast. Right now, we foresee that with the network that we have with SCG and the base load that we have from SCG Group, we're going to be able to expand into the region a lot faster right now. And we actually already started expansion, especially focusing on Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines, Cambodia as the main countries that we are pushing forward to. And also we will be covering other countries such as Myanmar, Laos, Malaysia, Singapore, and Southern China as well. So those are the plans that we are looking forward to expand using the network that we have right now. And we will also expand into the new territory that we were not very much focused on in the past. So now we will focus much more on the consumer market, and we call it the D2C, in short from the word direct to consumer segment. which will include both B2C, B2B2C, and C2C customers through many activities such as self-storage, fulfillment center, express delivery, especially in the segment of the cold chain, for example. And lastly, we will be focusing also on the new business opportunities that are related to logistics, such as property solution, digital solution, innovation, and so on and so forth. All of this will be done through the R&D activities that right now we have much stronger capability when combining with SCG. We will do a lot of digitalization and innovation within the group, and we will also trying to imitate and develop the sustainability solution that SCG Group have to improve SCGJWD to be greener and more sustained in the near future. And we will also be growing apart from the organic growth that we mentioned earlier through inorganic growth, M&A, joint venture will be happening throughout this year and the following years to help us to grow to the target that we need to meet in the year 2027. Many investors has been asking us about the term of the synergy because when we are talking about the plan, it seems to be a little bit mid to long term, let's say 4 to 5 years ahead. So everyone is looking forward to see something happening quicker, and they want to understand what are the plans for us to do the immediate term synergy. So we do a briefly recap of the immediate term synergy that's going to happen right now within 12 to 24 months time that you're going to see starting from, let's say, the first half of this year after the merger has completed last month. We're going to do improvement in many angles. The first one is to upside the revenue, to increase the revenue through many collaborative solutions. We are doing many cross-sell and upsell activities and also providing a more end-to-end complete solution to customer. So we expect to increase revenue from this kind of synergy starting from this year onward. Our asset will be much more complete, and we will try to utilize those assets to give more complete service solution to customer, and providing that we can gain more revenue from them. The second angle that we are looking into is to also optimize our cost and expense. Right now, we have already started the combined purchasing activities, which is has a very strong potential of cost reduction. For example, we are now combining the purchasing of the tie for the trucks, as well as the many of the items that we are using for our activities, for example, auto parts, pallet, the pallet film, and also the fuel, and many other things like the insurance and the security guard, for example. We have already combined those kind of purchasing activities, so we expect to see improvement in terms of the profitability very soon. We are also looking into reducing the SG&A expense, whereby we are trying to minimize or reducing some of the SG&A expense that was inherent in the operation of SCG Logistics, because they've been using the centralized service from SCG Group, where they do not have those kind of department or capability on their own. For example, accounting, legal, or corporate function, something like that. So those are the things that we are working on right now to help to optimize the cost and expense, and that will show result quite quickly within this year. That is what we plan on. And also the last angle is the financial management. Right now we are working our way toward the upgrade of the corporate ratings. We are under the reviewing process from Fitch Rating right now. We've been putting on the positive rating watch since we announced the deal last October. And right now, after the merger has completed, the reviewing process is ongoing at the moment. We expect to receive the result within, let's say, 1 to 2 months time from now. And after that, we believe that we will be able to reduce the interest rate of the whole company down, and possibly doing some kind of refinancing activities, which will help us to improve the profitability of the company, and also help us to grow through debt financing into the investment in the future. This is the financial overview of SCGJWD in terms of pro forma. This has not happened yet because the merger actually complete in February this year. But we just want to show you what it's going to look like if we have already been merged before. So it can be seen that from year 21 to year 22, we have been growing quite significantly in terms of the revenue. From around 25.9 billion baht to 28.3 billion baht, and we expect the momentum of growth to happen also this year. Also, the EBITDA size and net profit has been more than double from what JWD Group used to be in the past. It means that we will generate much more cash for further investment and activity within the company. And also, one thing to be noted is that the earning per share has not been diluted from this merger transaction. On the opposite, it actually increased from the previous JWD EPS, so that will be beneficial to all shareholders. Another positive angle that we can see is the balance sheet or financial position is much more stronger right now. The asset side has been growing from around 13 billion baht to around 36 billion baht. And the shareholders' equity size is growing from around 3.5 billion to around 22 to 23 billion baht. That is much larger. It means that our covenant ratio in terms of equity and EBITDA will be reduced very significantly. For example, the debt to equity ratio reducing from more than 2 times to less than 0.5 times. Net debt to EBITDA is reducing from around 4.5 times to less than 2 times. So those are the things that are happening right now, and that will help us to have quite significant debt capacity to grow much more in the future. Okay, those are the recap of the outlook for the company and the SCGJWD in terms of pro forma financial performance. I would like to touch a bit about our project update throughout the year so that you can see what's been going on throughout 2022 and what we can expect in this year. Last year, we've been expanding quite many cold storage warehouses. For example, in Salaburi, we have started the operation in September last year, and the occupancy rate has been reaching 84% already since the time of preparing this presentation, which actually at the moment it should be higher than this already. So this is one of the very successful sites and new strategic location that we are very keen on, and we will be expanding Salaburi cold storage in the near future to add more revenue to the cold storage business segment. We also have the joint venture with Thai Union, which already started operation in January this year. And within that short time period, around 2 months, we already reached 40% of occupancy because of the Thai Union product has been filling into the company, to the capacity of the warehouse. We also expand the self-storage warehouse from JWD Storage subsidiary company. And we are expanding the next branches in Bang Sue. This is actually quite close to SCG headquarters, and construction has already been started. We expect the completion will be in Q3 this year, and it will add as the 8 branches of JWD Storage. And we also have the 9 branch coming up in Pattaya, where we are utilizing Central Patana space in Pattaya right now, and the synergy between JWD, SCGJWD and CPN will be showing up more and more afterwards. We are trying to work with CPN in terms of utilizing their strength and penetrating to the retail market and to continue to be the leading self-storage company in Thailand. Another joint venture that's been developed throughout last year and the following this year is Alpha Industrial Solution, which is a joint venture between us and Origin Properties, focusing on developing industrial assets such as warehouse and factory. The warehouse in Bang Na, Kilometer 22, has already commencing operation already in March, actually this month. and also the ongoing project that under construction now, such as Bang Na Komo 2019, and the Rangsit project and Lam Chabang project is already started as well. We also have about 2 new projects coming up at the moment, where we have already secured the land and partnership with the developers that gonna work for us to develop those locations. We expect that within this year we should be able to add more than 200,000 square meters of warehousing space into the portfolio of our industrial solution. Another joint venture with Thailand Post and Fuse and Flash Express is called Fuse Post. Is already pushing forward right now, and we expect to expand a lot of drop points throughout Thailand within this year. And we are working toward expanding our cold chain express delivery network together with the partners, and hopefully catching more market share throughout this year. Another good news that has been announced last month, this is actually came from SCG Logistics side, is the joint venture agreement between SCG Logistics, which is right now our subsidiary, and Royal Cargo in Philippines, which is one of the leading logistic operator over there. We expect to start recognizing revenue consolidation from this joint venture, because we are holding 60% of this JV, and the activity will start second half of this year. We should be able to recognize revenue contribution from them, which will help us to grow from the existing organic growth that we have from both sides, SCG Logistics and JWD. And from SCG perspective, I think this is one of the things that we like to emphasize, is that SCG Group has announced their next chapter, and one of the important key focus on that announcement is SCGJWD as a flagship logistic company for SCG Group. So that will be one of the things that will help to build more confidence in terms of the stakeholders, to make sure that apart from the development in terms of third-party logistics service provider with the customers, we also have a very strong base from SCG to support us to expand into the region. We also will be focused much more on ESG development. We do a lot of activity regarding ESG last year. For example, the EV cars, EV trucks, and solar rooftop development. We have been adding a lot of those into our warehouses. And from now, we will be working much more with SCG Group to do SCG development, ESG development, that will be let you know gradually after the development has been done every quarter after this. And these are the brief recap of the financial highlights. I will try to go through it a little bit quicker, so give you time for the Q&A. And I think the financial has been released. You can also look from our MD&A in both Thai and English version on our website, and from Stock Exchange website as well. So we have a lot of detailed explanation of all the business in there. But all in all, we have reaching around 6 billion baht of revenue last year, with the net profit of 504.3 million baht. This is a little bit decreased from what we achieved in year 21. But the main reason for this is not from the business, because the business has been good. You can see from the revenue growth that has been showing quite significant percentage of growth this year. But the main factor that has caused us additional expense is the cost of the merger transaction that we have to pay to the advisor, and all those transaction fee that has been incurring. We also have been paying some additional employee benefit for our employees, to make sure that they are all confident and ready for the new merger and the new changes going to happen this year, to make them feel secure and going together with us to make sure that they will help us to drive growth very sustainably from this year onward. In terms of the business that I like to just focus on a bit, is that general goods has been very good. The occupancy rate has been reaching more than 100%, meaning that we need to rent outside space to serve customers. That is one of the causes that make the GP margin of Q4 decreased a little bit from Q3, but we are moving back to our own warehouse from Alpha and from SCG Logistics this year. So we expect the GP to bounce back in terms of the even though we still keep on giving service to additional customer, we will be able to increase the gross profit margin this year. Dangerous good itself has been increased in throughput, but the revenue is still stay on par with last quarter, I would say, because of the customer are trying to manage their time in the terminal to be shorter. But that is the typical activities that customer are trying to optimize their logistics. But in all, the volume throughput through the dangerous good terminal has been good. Automotive has been recovering. Q4 has been growing very much, and we actually achieved a new high in terms of revenue and profitability from automotive logistics in Q4 last year. And we expect the same momentum will happen throughout this year because of the EV car import and sales is expected to be very high throughout this year. Cold chain, the revenue is maintaining its high level, but the GP decreasing a little bit from the average level because of the expansion of new warehouse, and that will be gradually improved after we fill in the occupancy of each warehouse that we expanded. Transportation has been expanded very fast. The revenue growth is very significant, and this year we expect to grow much more in terms of transportation, especially after we have the economy of scale from SCG Logistics transportation activities that are combining with us right now. One thing I just like to touch upon is the food supply chain, which was contributing quite significant amount of revenue to us in the past, but on the other hand, did not contribute the profitability. We have successfully turned around this business last year, and it's become profitable. So that is one of the contributions that help us to gain the momentum in terms of the growth of the bottom line. And the equity income from our affiliate, including Vietnam Transcement Corporation, Thailand, including ESCO Terminals, Alpha Industrial Solution, and SJWD, which is the activity regarding to BYD EV cars, has been increasing significantly this year, and we expect to achieve quite high contribution from affiliate in the similar fashion in year 2023, similar to last year when we achieved. All in all, we achieved the net profit of around 504.3 million baht of profit, which a little bit decreased in terms of net profit margin due to some additional cost from the merger transaction. We are looking to improve more profitability margin through the optimization of the cost that I mentioned earlier. And in terms of financial position and the key financial ratio are still pretty much maintained from Q3, and it will be much more improved in Q1 this year after the merger and the consolidation has happened. And the cash flow surplus, we still have quite a cash flow reserve, let's say cash flow reserve in the company, and ready for any kind of investment that's going to happen in the near term. So those are the summary of the performance review of year 22 for SCGJWD.
The section has come to an end. So on behalf of the Stock Exchange of Thailand, I would like to thank you investor and corporate for joining the conference. We look forward to welcome you all again in the next quarter. Thank you very much and have a good day. ขอบคุณนะคะ
Thank you ครับ Thank you everyone. See you soon. Bye bye.